thought we'd go over some Pilates vocabulary. So when you're first starting Pilates, it's like a new language. It takes some time. So I thought this would be a good video to go back to or to watch before you start all of your Pilates training. Pilates V, you'll hear that a lot. So if you look down at your toes and you stand together, we're going to open our feet so you're in a V position, almost like a little pizza slice between the feet, but only 4 fingers. So if you drop down, you put your 4 fingers there, not too wide of a pizza slice. So Pilates V, feet are a little turned out, heels are squeezed together, about 4 fingers in between the big toes. The next one you might hear me say is talk about is your powerhouse. So a lot of the time for a powerhouse, we think it's only in the front side, but it's not. Your powerhouse is in the front and wraps all the way around to your back. It also includes your inner thighs and your glute muscles, 2 muscles that we kind of forget to work. So if you hear me say powerhouse, it's the stomach wrapping all the way around, your inner thighs and your glutes. The other term you might hear is to scoop your stomach in. So when I say scoop your stomach in, it's not just making this little C shape. When you're scooping your stomach in, you want to think about pulling your abs up in tight and then lengthening your body at the same time. So I always think of it, when I think of lengthening my body, I think of a piece of taffy, and it's like you're pulling the taffy apart. So when you're scooping your belly in, you want to think about scooping the belly in and then lifting yourself up and lengthening through your spine. The other term you might hear me talk about is your C curve. So when you're in your C curve, we'll go down onto the ground for this one. You don't want to think a little C. We always want to think a capital C. So you're lengthened tall, and then you're nodded chin down a little bit, and you think about scooping that stomach in and up. So if we go from that last definition of the scoop, and we go into the C curve, if you're scooping your stomach in your C curve, there's no way you can make a little C. You gotta make a big capital C. So stomach scooping up and C. So if you ever hear me say C shape, it's a big C and not a little c. The other you might hear on the videos is to articulate your spine. So articulation means when you're going down 1 vertebra at a time. So just for a little demo of it, arms would be forward, you're in your big capital C, gaze is out, and then from here we're going to start to roll down. We keep that capital C and we start to articulate. So if you look at my back, I'm going through my tailbone, through my low back, through my mid back, all the way down onto the ground, and then the head would be last. That would be articulating your spine. Sometimes you might hear me say, tuck your pelvis. So if I say tuck your pelvis, if you look towards my pelvic region, my hips would be slammed into the mat, my low back would be slammed into the mat, and then it would be making this almost little C shape here. So when you're tucking your pelvis, everything is slammed down into the mat. And then you might hear me talk about arch your back or arch your pelvis away. So if you're here, you would arch your back. You can see the pelvis is pushing forward and there's space between me and the mat. So a tuck of your pelvis would be no space. When you arch your back, there would be space between you and the mat. And then we kind of refer to a neutral spine. So if you're laying down onto the ground and you tuck your pelvis, so that means push your low back down to the ground, you feel your hips tuck up. From here, when we want that neutral spine, if you lift your head and you look towards your pelvis, you'll see your 2 hip bones are kind of pointing up towards you. So if you put your hands on your hip bones, you want to think about lengthening those hip bones down while scooping that stomach up and in. So that's kind of your nice neutral pelvis. I always say if there was like a ruler on your hips, the ruler would be flat. If you're tucking, the ruler would be going towards you. If you're arching, the ruler would be pulled away. So you kind of want it somewhere into the middle. When you're in that neutral pelvis, you might have some space between you and the mat and your low back, and that's totally fine as long as your ribs are soft and your chest is soft down into the mat. So while we're laying on the mat, let's also talk about your head. So a lot of the times you'll hear me say, tuck your chin in. If you're laying on the mat and you feel your nose is up to the ceiling and there's a little bit of an arch in your neck, you want to think about tucking your chin down and lengthening through the back of your neck. So depending on your body, you might need a towel behind your head to get yourself to get into that nice length position. So those are just some of the terms that you might hear me say in the videos. So I thought would be good to go through and explain each of them. So if you have any questions or if you're confused about anything, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me at www.ericaspilatestudio.com, or you can find me on Instagram. Thanks so much.